What are your jokes about?
My jokes, honestly.
Did you watch him do stand up?
Yesterday was so.
And
Yesterday yeah, go ahead.
Let me preface it with I didn't do it like a real full set yesterday.
You were hosting.
Yeah,
I was
a
hosting.
little different. Yeah.
So like I would do like maybe a bit in between,
Right.
Just like Josh and the people before and after. Coming
So
up.
yeah,
But
so Noah.
I don't know how I did.
So
I was comfortable though.
You did good. You did great. I thought you did. I mean, that was the first time I saw him on stage.
And now I should ask you a follow up question.
Sure.
A lot of open mics, as you know, are terrible. It's just 5 comics on their phones watching. They're not fun. You can't really do good no matter how funny you are. Was yesterday's open mic, was it fun? Was there an audience? Like,
no.
Was there a room?
No.
Well, there were
Your dad was the audience.
Yeah. There was 6 people that weren't comics.
Okay.
5,
And the bartender.
There were 7 people that
7
weren't comics.
people,
You, Mom, and then the 5 other people.
Got it.
The rest were just, that's a fucking turnout for what I do.
Right. Well, so listen, it's like what I've said is that there were some comics. Most of them are not good.
Sure.
Really, honestly.
Yeah, probably 90%.
But there were some comics that got crickets that said a couple things that I laughed, and I was like, if they were in a room of people that cared, they would get laughs.
Totally.
But they got, like nothing.
Yeah.
And that's
welcome to open mics.
Yeah. It was, but Noah did good. And what Noah told me in the very beginning, because he did his first show a couple months ago, and he said exactly what you told me. I don't know if you remember. You say, this isn't really a family thing. That's what he said, because I said, I'd like to come out and see. And he goes, this isn't really a family thing. It's kind of a one-person thing.
I agree.
It's not.
My parents always ask me to come to my shows, and I've let them come once to get out of the way.
Wow.
And now they always want to go, and I just go, I'm so much more comfortable when there's no one I know there.
Oh, okay.
I just feel, I don't know how you feel about it. I think
Personally,
you're
I don't
closer
mind.
with your parents than I am with mine.
Yeah.
But I just feel more comfortable going out there when I don't know anyone in the crowd. Not even just my parents. If there's like a friend from high school, again, I'll let him go once. But I much rather do it when I don't know anyone. That way I don't care if I do good or bomb. I'm just looser.
Right.
I don't, because if my parents are there, I feel this pressure like I got to do good and show them that I'm not a loser.
Yeah.
So from the start of your career, it was open mics?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you finally get good enough to do, like, what was how many years?
I
months,
still am probably not good enough.
I thought you were hilarious.
Thank you.
Yeah, in everything I've seen.
No, my big break, or my small break, I should say. I haven't had a big break, but my break out of open mics was I was interning at this website that does all the websites for a lot of the comedy clubs in the country. It was called Laugh Stop. They're not. I don't even think they're around at the time. But at the time, they did the website for the Comedy Store, the Ice House, the Improv, all the major clubs in LA. And I was an intern there. And the hottest show in LA was called Comedy Juice. And this was every week was Aziz Ansari, Daniel Tosh, Chappelle, Dane Cook. It was all these Louis C.K.
yeah.
Anyone who was in town that week drops in on Comedy Juice. And then anyone who's not on the show, who's a comedian, went and hung out at Comedy Juice.
Right,
so every Wednesday I would show up and just loiter around.
Yeah.
It was just the spot to be.
Sure.
So I was hanging out there. The guy who runs Comedy Juice would go to the Laugh Stub building to collect his paycheck for Comedy Juice. So he sees me, and then he saw me at a show, and he goes, you're a comic? And I'm like, yeah, I am. And he goes, you work at Laugh Stub, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm an intern there. He goes, you're a comic? I said, yes. He goes, hey, do you want to host the show next week? And I'm, at this point, 6 months into comedy.
Wow.
Never
6
done
months.
had just done open mics.
Wow.
I'm piece of shit, whatever. I'm not good. I do not belong on Comedy Juice, but of course I'm young and hungry and overconfident. And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to host. And so then that week I just did double down on open mics, getting my set as polished as it could be. I go up there, I host Comedy Juice. I'm nervous, out of my mind nervous, because it was like me, who was else on the lineup? I think it was Daniel Tosh was on that week. Dane Cook. It was like I did not belong there. I was hosting the show with heroes.
Yeah,
right?
What are you doing?
Legends. And I'm 6 months into comedy, like trying to memorize my jokes,
Right.
But I went up there and I did good. I pulled it off. Like
Really?
I did not bomb. I mean, if I'd probably cringe if I watched myself now,
Right,
but the audience laughed and I did good. And the guy running the show was like, awesome, come back. We'll have you back doing this every 2 weeks.
Oh,
and then
my
I was
gosh.
kind of like in their rotation, and I'm doing Comedy Juice all the time.
Wow.
And performing at all these different clubs.
huge.
And then I became a host at all the clubs and just been working my way up. But I'm still, not where I want to be. I still want to be a headliner and get passed at the Comedy Store and all these different things.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's it. So how long have you been doing it?
I'm doing it 9 years.
9 years.
Yeah.
Phew, jeez,
Closer
that's-
to 9 or
and that's
10
the
years.
thing. They usually say it takes about 10 years, huh?
Yeah, I mean, so it's different for everyone. That's the weird thing. I mean, I would imagine similar to the reptile business. Probably there's no school on how to make it in the reptile business.
No,
there's no school on how to make it in stand-up comedy. You can't go. Oh, I'm gonna get a degree
Yeah.
and then I'm gonna get a job
Yeah.
for Petco and do this.
Yeah.
That's not how it works. You just kind of gotta
Yeah.
make your own path.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing for comedy, where some people will make it in 3 years, and you're like, oh man, everyone loves
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And then some people will make it in 20 years, like
Yeah.
Joey Diaz. You know,
Yeah, that's
got
true.
famous later in life. Bill Burr got famous. Louis C.K. There's all these examples of people who made it later, and then there's
Yeah.
people who get on TV and are famous. Pauly Shore, I think, got famous after just a few years of doing it. 'Cause
Right.
He had all the connections.
Well, he had
and-
so many connections.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You
so
know?
it's different for everybody.
Yeah. So do you think that when you got going with Comedy Juice, did you know a lot of people at the time, or
No.
So you were fresh.
I was fresh and by the way, when you host Comedy Juice, you get paid $20. That
$20,
wasn't
that's
I
good,
didn't
yeah.
financially was not making it, but that was
Yeah.
just how I got started doing shows and not
Sure,
open mics.
yeah.
But I
Yeah.
was fresh and
Because that's what I always think, like, with reptiles, and even I'm not going to say reptiles really, because reptiles is about cleaning snake shit and working
That's
hard.
part of it.
Yeah. But I think more like the social media side, YouTube and stuff like that. A lot of times it is who you know. You know what I mean? Like as I became friends with the big names on social media, it opened up doors for me on the social media side more so. And I just wonder if in the comedy
thing.
world, it's got to help, right?
definitely. So most of my following is people who saw me open up for Theo Von. Not that I have a following, but the little following that I have is
Right.
mostly like a subsidiary of Theo Von's, and I would say most of his following is subsidiary of Joe Rogan.
Right.
So
Right.
it just kind of that's how it happens. I mean, on
Right.
Instagram,
Those are
the
still
only way to
people,
get
though.
followers. Yeah,
You know what I mean? They're still people.
Oh
Like
yeah.
they're still fans. They definitely liked you.
Oh,
enough to
totally.
follow.
No, I'm not complaining. I love them.
No,
I love all the
I
people.
understand.
But from my perspective, it's very for example, let's say Instagram.
Yeah.
You don't get a whole lot of natural organic following on
Yeah.
Instagram. It's mainly you get tagged by Brian, or you get
Yeah.
tagged by Theo, or you get tagged by
Yeah.
someone,
Yeah.
and then people discover you that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it is
TikTok
hard.
is more organic.
Yeah, no, TikTok's well,
Yes.
yeah. Even though that's becoming harder,
Yeah.
like all social media when it starts is organic,
Right.
And then they start algorithmically,
Fucking
dumbing
Phasing
down
people
it.
out, yeah.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I just did some work with a pretty big guy on Instagram that has about 20 million, and he said that even he goes, yeah, I'll gain 6,000 from a big post. He goes, and then 2 days I'll lose 5,000.
Right.
He
Yeah.
goes,
Wow.
literally,
It's so
I'll go up
weird.
6 and come down 5. And I know we earlier this year were really working hard on Instagram. We still are, but we've continued to change our strategy. And for the first 6 months, we crushed. I mean, after last year, Instagram was garbage for us. And then the first 6 months, we almost put up 100,000 followers in the first,
Wow.
well, actually 4 months.
Yeah.
And then now it's dead. I mean, dead. I'm literally
weird.
gaining 5 followers a day. I mean,
Wow.
it's dead. And I had days, Jane.
Oh my God.
Sometimes there was days I had 5,000
5,000, yeah.
followers in a day, and now
Crazy.
it's like 5.
And it's just the algorithm changing, or
We didn't change our strategy
Instagram's
at
this
all.
weird thing to me. I could be wrong. This is my partial theory on it. It's kind of become a business card, and not even just for comedians or influencers, even for a normal person,
life.
like a chick you meet on the street. She's
Yeah.
like, follow me on Instagram, look at my
Oh.
Instagram. They're trying to get, everyone wants their ratio to be cool.
Yeah.
So it's like, you don't want to follow more people that are following you. So even normal people will unfollow me
Yeah.
or you
Wow.
because it's like, do I need to follow that? I'd rather my number be low than
It
follow
is weird.
Ari
Yeah,
or
you're
Brian.
right,
I have
right.
something to throw in though, because you live in LA or
Yeah.
California.
True.
rather.
So maybe it's more rampant
It,
of an issue
it
there
is
than
there.
here.
It
Yeah.
is there, dude. I mean, because I visit once a year, twice a year, whatnot. Man, it's weird. I don't feel like I'm even accepted as a human in society there. But here, nobody. If you're just meeting people in public, honestly, nobody really asks for Instagram.
Right.
And when I'm in LA, usually one of the first 5 questions is like,
What's your Instagram?
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of asking people for their phone numbers, straight
Yeah.
up, like if I meet a girl in LA, it's more
100%.
normal to say, "Oh, I'll follow you on Instagram," and then DM her
Definitely.
there.
Yeah, see, it doesn't
like
work
that.
for me because I'll never answer a DM.
Yeah.
I always, as a matter of fact, I always tell when people ask me questions on this podcast, I'll go, DMJ
me.
because I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna.
Well, you probably at some point it becomes too much.
There's
And
just too much. It's
you,
impossible.
You have a million followers on
It's
Instagram, something
just
like
600,
that. 600,000. So at 600,000,
Who's counting?
Just 6.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I wish it was a million. I wish it was a
What
million.
a loser.
Yeah,
We all
just
do
leave
it.
the podcast
But
now.
see,
Ari.
we all do it. You bitch about your 20K. I bitch about my 30. He bitch about his 600. Like
Right, right.
we
Yeah.
all bitch about
But
it.
I imagine at 600, you just can't respond.
No, you
to
can't
those DMs.
respond.
It's too much.
Every now and
Yeah.
then I'll like look through, and this just happened to me a couple days ago. I was looking through my DMs, which I hardly ever. I mean, like maybe once every couple weeks, because just every day there's 150 DMs
Right.
or whatever, 200 DMs, and someone was like out in LA. It was Florida. They had a fish farm, and I've been talking about the aquarium upstairs and stuff like that. And they're like, "Hey, we'd like to donate a bunch of corals and stuff like that."
that's so
And I
cool.
was like, "Thank God, I freaking And then
Yeah,
I
a
started
lot of free
thinking like,
stuff.
I'm thinking like, what am I missing
True.
by not
A lot.
looking at
Maybe
it?
you
you
need
know?
to get an assistant to look through your DMs for you.
Yeah,
or something, one of the
exactly,
staff
yeah.
members.
Yeah.
do you
no, you're
filter
right.
through top requests?
Mine doesn't
that?
work.
What's top
It
request?
doesn't.
Oh my god.
See, I just look
you're
at
about to
every
know.
DM I get. So I
Oh
don't
my
need,
God,
So I
no,
don't
No,
know
well, listen,
Dude,
listen,
there's
listen,
a
listen.
filter
I'm-
button.
No. Let me show you
No,
right now.
no. Well, let me describe to him
You
how
describe.
it really
you describe.
works.
You describe.
There's this button on the DMs. You can filter all requests, so you can see every single person.
Can
and
you
then,
filter it by hot chicks?
Yes, because that's the follower
Yeah.
count.
Yeah,
But-
that's the top.
I have a,
They
I
have
have
a better
girlfriend
follow
now,
count.
but
Yeah,
this
well,
is my single
we
brain
shouldn't
talking.
have to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go under a different alias. No, but top requests, and then it'll be like, it'll filter it.
yeah,
from
right. But you
most
know, my
followers to
top
least
request, when it
Stop.
updated,
What is it?
117 weeks ago is my last top request. That's
But
how
it's in
messed
order
up.
of the highest.
I mean,
No, right. I
follower
understand
count,
that,
right?
Oh, I
but
don't
this
think I have
doesn't.
that.
It never ever updates ever. Like
Well,
I'll have
maybe
like the
just-
same 10 people on my top request.
well, maybe that's
You've
because they're
responded
the
to my
super
DMs.
top.
See that?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but that's because we're friends.
Yeah, yeah.
If I follow you, I respond to your
Got it,
DM.
got it, got it.
But
That's true.
because that goes into
Oh.
my primary DMs.
Listen,
Right,
I,
right.
I got something funny to say.
Oh gosh, let's
Theo
wait a
Von-
second. Hey, everyone stop. Everyone stop.
No, listen,
Put the pressure
dude.
on.
Theo Von, he followed me right after the
Hell
show.
yeah. Uh-huh.
He unfollowed me.
Oh,
Did he
No,
my
he
God. See,
did?
that's
You
what I'm
never told me
talking
that
about.
shit.
The count.
Oh,
The
Man.
follower count.
He unfollowed me.
Damn.
I gotta see if
Man,
Theo's
you don't
unfollowing
understand
me,
how.
man.
That hit you deep.
Oh yeah, dude,
Dude,
Theo
you probably
Von.
unfollowed me too.
Like I would.
He probably did. I'm gonna. Now I have to check if he follows
He
me.
fucking still follows you because I checked.
Oh no, you did. You're like, oh well, he
I
must have
checked.
unfollowed my
I'm
dad
gonna
too.
send him a picture of you and say, "What's up, dude?"
He
What's
follows
with
me.
the-
I'm good. Ironically enough, the second guy on his list that is right now I see him. The guy I just did the collab with, and you. Those are the first three. And
I'll
actually,
take
he
it.
follows Oscar, the
Grouch.
Oscar Valdez, who is the WBC super featherweight.
He's
who's-
super into fighting.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and this guy Oscar followed me like 2 years ago. He's into Reptiles.
Oh, that's sick.
And so, like,
yeah.
at the time, he wasn't the super heavyweight or super featherweight
Yeah.
champion. He just got that about 3 months ago. He won.
We
the
should get
championship.
Oscar to beat Theo up because of that.
Absolutely.
No, I don't actually care. I just thought it was funny. It was just like
Yeah.
he fucking
No, we
cock
should-
teased me, man. He
Yeah,
put the
he
tip
teased
in
you.
and then took it out. Like, come on, you gotta
Oh,
leave it in.
He probably.
It's probably the hair.
You
You
know
think
what
he
it
forgot
was.
who you were? Do you think he was looking through and go, "Who's this guy?" And
Yo,
unfollow?
for
What
I
do you
think
it was?
I probably posted something and he was just like, I don't want to see this. Unfollow. That's
Yeah.
100%
See,
what
but
it is.
see,
I'm not
for me,
offended.
when someone
what
because
happened.
that happens to me too. So I'll see something in my feed, like someone will post something really political, and I'm like, I don't want to see this. I'll
Yeah.
mute them though.
Right, or
That's
unfollow.
smart.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
smart.
Rail this, Sam. Can we rail this in?